Now we shall go on with the second speech, the successful companies in Greece. I shall invite Mr. Alexandre Tsoukalis, who is the Managing Director and CTO for Micrel Medical Devices SA. Alexandros Tsoukalis studied electrical engineering in the University of Patras, and in 1980 he co-founded Micrel Medical Devices SA. Good afternoon. What we manufacture is drug infusion pumps, as you can see here. Those are portable devices where the drug is administered along a few hours or days. It depends. 1 week for pain, parental nutrition could be during night hours. It depends on the market. We have been in this field for 38 years. Well, we have never seen a drop in the medicine market so far. It keeps growing, so the markets are very stable. There could be some price erosion, at least lately, but you get your money back quite fast. So it's quite safe to export. I'm not talking about selling in the Greek market, but if the goal is to export, it's very good where you can make devices for the field of medicine. There is a strong competition, of course, in this sector, and I want to show young people that competition is a fight, is a fierce fight where people fall dead, companies that get out of the market are eliminated, and others that grow and go on. That's what I always tell to the staff, that there are U.S. companies, and if they get down on you, you will be defeated. Otherwise, you can grow. This is something that people have to see and experience and understand. Now, to go even faster, the market is extremely regulated, especially in the infusion pumps that can kill people. The regulations are very high, very strict, and this, of course, goes along with the high price. But this also involves protection because the prices are kept on a high level, and we sell at higher prices than anybody else in the market. We are number one in France for all diseases, number one in the UK and Sweden, Denmark, and Germany in some other market. Therefore, we are in the largest markets and we sell higher than others, and we also have user associations. So if home providers try to reduce prices, they prefer our products, Micrel products, because they have a good association with us because we keep working with them. Now, if you want to compete in this market, you need to have some innovation. This is the base of any competitiveness. So there is a need for an incentive. You need some power, some logic, some reasoning for people to invest money and buying your goods. And of course, we have protection by patents. The market is full of patents. When I started searching in this field, I got crazy because I saw that any company could have 200 patents for the same thing. So it's really difficult to sort it out, but it's the only way to go on. And there's also quality and reliability. Reliability means quality in the course of time. And I have asked the universities to include this and teach people how to maintain devices so that they can live longer. Unfortunately, nobody pays any attention. And the Greek goods have the reputation, the bad reputation that they break down, but they know that our infusion pumps will keep working for the next 20 years. Innovation, as you can see, this innovation is a real race, a speed race, and you need to have something unique, a unique selling proposition that people would pay to get, because nobody else has it. So what I'm saying here, the last sentence is very important. Patent claims are sales arguments. I mean, this is how sellers, salespeople sell it. You see, the competitors do not have it. That's why our machine is more expensive. So what is written in the patent claims will be sold by your salespeople. In our strategy, in our patent strategy, we have three types of logic. One is a defensive way. You have a product that you protect by patents. You don't do anything. You don't do anything significantly different. You get the patent, but you do not do significantly better than others. An aggressive way would be when you have something that really changes the market space and you wanted to lock it and lock everybody out. So you are trying to delineate a space. I will show you later that whenever we have aggressive sales, we put a series of patents all around, and we patent all alternative options for a problem, all alternative solutions. They are all covered by patents so that nobody else can get into that space. And there is, you can hide, of course, things in our software. We have algorithms that we don't have a reason to protect by a patent, but we hide them. Since our biggest markets are in Europe and the US, we have two patents at the same time, the same day, one in Europe, one in the US. In the past, we also used it to publish in the World Patent Office, but then we found out that the best tactics would be to have both patents in the same day. Now, if you ask me why Greece is there, it is because of this statement. If we count the number of exporters and number of patents, I've seen that we don't have more than 650 patents in total. So the whole Greek industry is very small. I mean, in Europe and the US, goods that are made and patented by Greeks. Now, key opinion leaders. This is also very important. I will show you later on. It's very important to get feedback for what you're doing, and they can also help you penetrate the market. Opinion leaders are those people who lead the market, so they tell physicians what they're going to do, but they also needed to show innovation themselves. Now, if you have the innovation and offer it to them, you find the doors open. If you have an innovation, go and find the greatest key opinion leaders, and they will embrace you because they are looking for companies. They are telling us there are giant companies outside, but they have made no innovation, and you came and changed our world overnight. This is why the greatest opinion leaders are supporting us and not our competitors. Now, practical issues. This is a patent that we established in 2001 before GPRS in Europe. This is the first patent of contemporary telemedicine. All those wearables were not made by Apple. They were made by us 20 years ago. This is a first non-military patent. It was granted in Europe and the US. And prior art was only in military systems, satellite military systems, where soldiers wanted to view other places. So it came out in the market in this form. The pump also had a mobile phone next to it. Salespeople were complaining that they would not be able to sell mobile phones to doctors, that they couldn't tell doctors to use a mobile phone next to the pump, but we did it. We also made this one. And then in 2011, we started making this patent. We were thinking about having vital signs in the beginning, vital sign sensors to measure blood pressure and so on. Then we saw that this would go to mass production companies, so we changed it and we tried to find out what we can do with our diseases. So with this patent, we have questionnaires. The pump is asking the patient what he suffers from so that we can check the side effects of the drugs infused and get the result back. This was the first patent that allowed us to have a barcoding and so on. It was quite strange in the beginning. This is Xavier Capdevila, who is the president in the anesthesiology conferences, the greatest opinion leader in the market. Here you see him in one of our own booths in an anesthesiology conference. He gives a lecture and explains what we are doing. And these are physicians asking us to have them speak with Xavier because they could not approach him on their own. This is another work with St. Mark's Hospital in London. Dr. Gab had half of the parenteral nutrition market in London, but we have shown him a different patent, the one shown here. So through pressure measured by the pump, we can understand whether there is a blockage of a catheter, and this has resolved several problems because he could know when they would break down, so he had a competitive advantage, and because of this, we got half of the UK market thanks to this patent. Here you see the new things, and I will also show you live demo. You must have seen the hospital pumps on the stand. This is a hospital pump doing exactly the same as the infusion pump is doing, the large one on the stand. This one is attached to the sac, to the bag. This is not easy to do, but I will show you how we proceed. Because to make it that small, we had to make the whole system very small for the infusion. And this whole system is in this plastic. It is shown here. It is one patent with 7 improvements. The Rotary Peristaltic pump. So this rotary pump, infusion pump, is a 2-century patent. And for 2 centuries, it has been only used in laboratory equipment and things like that. But we have reduced consumption and enhanced precision. And this is all explained here. I will not go into detail because other pumps have 9 bearings, but this one is a bearing on its own. You see the pipe here in injection molding on silicon, and so it is not round, it is an oval shaped. So we have half the size of the pump because we reduced the size of the battery. And this pump can last for 4 days, and it can infuse all drugs for one patient during his hospital stay. So 7 liters can be infused by this pump, which is usually the amount infused in 4 days in a hospital. So this is attached on the pump.
Λοιπόν, εδώ είναι τώρα το επόμενο βήμα.
This is the next step. So when we did the market research, we found out that the European market has syringe pumps at 40% of the beds. So those syringe pumps have an advantage. They do not have an upstream line. So you don't have the line between the pump and the drug, because this is the most harmful thing, because you may connect it to the wrong drug, and this could lead to medication errors if you connect the line to a wrong drug. So there's not up line here, upstream line. So when different pumps are needed in a surgery, they usually use such syringe pumps. But this syringe pump has another advantage: it is very linear. All peristaltic pumps in the world are not at all linear. So we have resolved this problem with this pump. We inflated the line and we made the pump pulseless because all the others are having a pulse. All pumps in the market today have this pulse in the infusion, linear, then make a pulse, then they become linear again. Our pump is completely linear, the same as a syringe pump. And this is a statistical way to check the quality of infusion, and this has reached the level of a proper syringe pump. When I have shown this to Xavier, he was surprised because I've shown him that all his pumps could just have this small size with a small mini bus. And this is the new one. This is our great advantage. So we are saying that since the problem is how you detect which drug is infused, we are using this barcode, which is printed on plastic. It is placed here, and the pump, which has a camera on this, it's a small camera like the one of your mobile phone. So this camera checks the barcode of the patient and the barcode of the drug. And if the pharmacy has also placed this label, then the pump, irrespective of whether it is moving or not, it can read the barcode. So if you change the drug and put another drug, the pump will tell you that the drug has been changed, and it will ask you for the protocol for the new drug. This allows us to cooperate with pharmaceutical companies. So from HBio, they've seen that, and from the Licensing Executive Society. There is a professor in Munich working in Strasbourg who trains on patents in the Strasbourg University. So he's taken 12 companies from the European Patent Office, and he has made an analysis. And he said that Micrel's strategy, because if the pharmaceutical company tries to put it on its drug, because you see the drug has no taste, no smell, nothing. And if it is generic, it is sold on the basis of the price. So if they have an advantage and make sure that there's no error, even if it's a big pharma company, you can even defeat it because with your system, you can make sure it's the right drug. This is why the price is higher. So that's the next step for us, to become facilitators for large pharmaceutical companies to have an advantage in the market. And this is our latest patent.
Ερωτήσεις έχουμε?
What's the cost benefit though for the hospital?
The what?
The cost benefit for the hospital, because that's always the question that comes up.
There is today we are trying to define it. Today we are making a market survey with nurses and doctors in the US to define exactly, because there is our biggest market, to see how we will attack this. But the main benefit is that instead of having one pump on each bed, which is a huge, let's say, investment for a hospital, you have all the pumps in the pharmacy, and you have a pharmacy-centric system. The pharmacy is giving the pump together with the drug. So you are infusing only where you need it. So you don't have steady pumps around the hospital that are waiting for some day to have a drug. So you are infusing when you are needing it. So the consumable, our consumable will be a little bit higher price than the opposite. But on the other side, you have a lot of benefits from safety, that I said, from linearity, from extreme accuracy. All the pumps today, they have 5% accuracy. We are starting at 2% accuracy. So, and full linearity, like syringe pumps. So we are exactly the equivalent of a syringe pump with a bedside pump, with a large volumetric pump. So all that, we are compiling it to see how we will manage it. There is another advantage that we have, is that there is another model that has also a drip chamber in line with our module, so it will be one just single module. And with this drip chamber, because you are on the drug, we have a level detector, and when air comes into the pump, so you stop infusing, because when the air comes into the pump, then you have to empty all the line until the patient, and there is a risk of infection. So with our system, you stop the level there. So this is another advantage also in the patents and things like that. So I try to avoid saying everything, so that's it.
Ναι, κυρία Ντάμπο.
Καλησπέρα. Νικολέτα Τάμπου, δημοσιογράφος από το healthweb.
Good evening, healthweb.gr, journalist. You are mainly an exporting company by 98%. So, do you work with the Greek hospitals? Yes, indeed, but it's a small market. And what's your turnover? About 20 million this year. Thank you.